Welcome back to Extra Shot, the podcast about the funniest stories in the world of sport this week. I am Jack. Zach is here.
Hi Jack, how you doing?
Hello, I'm fantastic. On the pod this week, Derek Chisora is popping pills in the rave. Luke Littler's unsavoury teenage habits upset his older colleagues yet again. And is Sergio Busquets passing coded messages to rebel insurgents? I think we all know the answer to that one.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. It really makes you think that one.
There are suspicions.
How are you doing, Zach?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
How
are you doing?
Coming out the morning after Man City fell apart at the end against Real Madrid, which is, it's hard to know who to root for in a game like that.
Yeah, it sounded like I didn't watch it, but it sounded
what
like
were you doing?
I was supporting grassroots football. Jack.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I was watching Dulwich Hamlet against Folkestone Invicta on a cold Tuesday night.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just freezing.
It's just true love for the game.
What was the vibe there? Is it sort of boozing? Someone once told me there are girls. Like, that was a good advert. It is a good advert for it.
It was, you know what? It's very busy for that level of football. And considering it was a Tuesday night as well, there are probably over 1,000 people there.
Okay.
And I had a nice souvlaki.
Oh, right.
And a couple of beers.
And it wasn't just all blokes.
No, it's quite it's quite mixed. Oh, it's a nice vibe.
Good to hear. So I wasn't taking that anywhere.
Is that why you go to football?
No, it's just nice to hear. The reason I brought up the Real Madrid City game is because, did you see before that, Sergio Agüero, he said, he was on like a Barcelona podcast and he said, Real Madrid cannot beat Man City. If they beat City, I will cut off my testicles, which...
Yeah, that's a big shout to make when your team is playing against Real Madrid. Like, it's a big shout to make against any team, but...
Yeah, I mean, I guess he hates them for Barca and Man City reasons anyway.
Yeah.
I quite like people are quite sort of cautious and stuff. It's like, it's quite nice having someone just say it in a fun way.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to follow through?
Really hope not.
Yeah. I was it more because I saw like Real Madrid had a lot of injury problems before in defence, especially. So was he sort of like, if they don't beat him now, then...
Yeah, I think maybe he just meant like, it will hurt me. Like, cutting off my we'll be generous about it. He'll probably do some sort of gesture.
Is it going to be like a Gary Lineker-esque?
Yeah, I'll take my t-shirt off.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I want to see your ball bag being severed.
Scalpels, yeah. Actually, speaking of taking a pair of rusty scissors to your ball sack, I've got an update on Juan Bernabe. You remember Juan Bernabe? He's the Eagle handler who was sacked by Lazio a few weeks ago after sharing very intimate pictures of his prosthetic penis operation, or the results of it. So he was obviously sacked by Lazio after that incident, along with his eagle, who sadly got dragged into it with his handler.
His disgraced eagle.
His disgraced eagle. Yeah, I mean, he shared it. He posted these pics on the Instagram account that they share.
It was like Juan
and Olympia, the account, which seemed unnecessary to drag the eagle in. But anyway, the pair of them, you'll be glad to hear, are on a bit of a redemption tour now. So they popped up at the weekend at a Serie D match in Italy. So Juan was parading Olympia around the stands on his arm, back doing what he loves.
Love it. Is that a paid gig?
Apparently they charge €1,000 for an appearance.
It's not bad money if he's just...
Yeah, I'm wondering whether... Do you think he charges more or less since this big...
I think as a one-off...
He's a bigger name now.
Yeah, as a one-off gig, his fee's gone up, right? If like Oceana Kingston are trying to book him, he's now charging more.
Yeah. Get him down to Dulwich Hamlet, actually.
Yeah,
probably.
better beats a souvlaki.
Yeah. All the ladies all there.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know why I said that. Is this his job now? He's like a reality TV
cameo,
star.
Yeah,
he's like you've got no fans guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's just going to be doing like uni club nights where he sort of turns up and no one really knows what he's there to do.
Yeah, I mean, you make good money on that.
Would you just do a photo with? Was he like doing photos with him and the eagle?
I mean, I hope that's the only thing he's filming with fans, because I kind of feel like his career trajectory, judging by the things he started posting online, he maybe had other ideas of where his career could take him.
That feels like the obvious move for him.
Yeah, OnlyFans.
He's got the machinery for it.
Yeah.
Yaz, our producer, has just put up a picture of him. This is the appearance.
Oh, this is his appearance.
And someone, not saying it was you, Yaz, has circled his knob, which, to be fair, is looking pretty big through a pair of shorts.
Yeah.
His bulge, I would call that.
Yeah.
Is that a knob or is it?
I mean, I guess it is.
Very round.
But the thing is, the actual penis wasn't extended in length or size. It was just, the sort of mechanics.
Yeah, but he's got this pump, right?
Yeah, it's button.
Yeah, but is it binary? Is it like it's on or it's off?
I think so.
So you're either rock hard or you're like sail down. Or is it more like, like a pump that you would pump up like an airbed? So every pump just does a little bit, in which case he could have accidentally either left it inflated a bit, or, when you put the airbed away, you don't always fully put it down. Or he's like, I don't know, sat on his keys. They've inflated it.
Is him putting his pants back on, or putting them on in the morning? Is it like when you're trying to roll up the sleeping bag and get it back in get it back in the bag?
Yeah. Because I would call that flying at half mast. So maybe it's a bit of respect for a fallen club legend or something.
Yeah.
Is that a Serie D team? He's not attached. He hasn't got a new gig.
No, I think it's just a one-off.
Right. It's not a sort of disgraced star having to seek.
He's had to drop down the ranks.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like when Rangers got relegated to the bottom tier and for financial misconduct.
Yeah.
Is this sort of the mascot equivalent? He's got to now work his way back up through the tiers.
Yeah, either that or he's now a reality TV star. Surely if you're a sort of eagle-eyed producer on what was that sort of like
Pardon the pun?
Well, I didn't even mean that, but what was the we came up with a game show format that involved David Coote. I can't actually remember what it would be.
It was like I'm a celeb, but everyone is disgraced.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. No, it was more sort of like an island.
It's Disgrace Island. Or
Disgraced
Island. He should be on it.
Yeah.
And then he can do the appearances at Southampton Uni, where he's just in a sticky forward club.
Yeah.
With the
He'll get a lot more bigger profile if he goes on that show.
Yeah.
I think that is a good idea for a TV show.
Yeah, and we are available to consult on it if you wish.
Yeah. So, since he fled to Moscow at the end of last year, Bashar al-Assad has been scratching his head about how his regime in Syria collapsed so quickly. Was it his steadfast refusal to embrace democratic reforms? Was it a withdrawal of support from the Iranian Revolutionary Guards? Or perhaps the fall of his government was orchestrated via the metronomic passing of Sergio Busquets. So I saw on the Barra Brothers podcast this week, they dug up this report from 2012 where Syrian state TV claimed, this is a genuine story, they genuinely claimed that Barcelona were passing coded messages to anti-government insurgents through their passing patterns.
What they're like tiki-taka.
Exactly. So they were basically claiming that Barca's tiki-taka is a clever way to show insurgents how to smuggle illegal arms into the country. So I've got a clip of the TV report, and they basically, so it has a clip of Barca playing in El Clasico against Real Madrid, and some of the players are highlighted, and they represent the smugglers. The players' positions on the field represent various different Syrian cities, and the ball is a stash of weapons.
لو انحصر الأمر في 3 أو 4 قنوات من ذوي القربى لهان الأمر ولهان أمر تتبع.
They score at the end. So what do they think Barcelona's motive is not to win the most important game of their season? It's to pass messages to the Free Syrian army.
Yeah. So just to translate what the presenter was saying there, he said, first we see how the guns are brought from Lebanon, and that was as Iniesta played the ball into Messi. Then they cross into Homs and give the weapons to other terrorists in Abu Kamal. Messi's final flick indicates the successful handover of the weapons to their destination in eastern Syria.
Does he think Real Madrid are in on this as well?
I don't think
Like,
so.
they score, and at certain points as well, the players are being like really harried by the Real Madrid defenders. So just to hold on to the ball is impressive, let alone to also remember and execute a plan to communicate with Syrian rebels.
I think part of the reason behind this conspiracy was that at the time, and still now, I think Barca are sponsored by the Qatar Foundation, who and the Qatari government were sort of supporting rebels, or that's what the Syrians thought, at least.
That is starting to make a lot of sense.
It kind of is.
So would they say actually what was happening was Qatari TV were like replaying the goal a lot?
Yeah,
to try and pass the message.
Yeah, partly that, but you know, there is an actual, like, in that clip they've superimposed a map of Syria over this footage of El Clasico, and you know, when you see it like that, it makes a lot of sense. I don't know, it is quite mad, but Assad always had this big theory that the revolution against his dictatorship was orchestrated by these shady foreign forces. Although I'm not entirely convinced that one of those shady agents was Tito Villanova deploying Pedro as a false nine.
Can you imagine being the like junior producer at Syrian State TV who has to find the clip that matches the map?
It's mad. Apparently, around the same time, they also accused a Saudi TV channel of sending coded messages to insurgents via the weather forecast as well.
So they're saying if you forecast rain, that means like airstrikes are coming.
Yeah.
Isn't the weather just sunny most of the time?
Yeah, true. Yeah, maybe that's it.
Code.
Yeah.
That is fucking amazing.
It is.
When you started the story by talking about Bashar al-Assad, I can't remember what you were sort of like, it never really worked out for Assad in Syria. I was like, he's talking like he's remembering his spell at Stoke City or something. It was like an Upshot Tuesday episode intro.
Yeah. Bashar al-Assad, the eye doctor who went dada.
Bashar al-Assad is absolutely mental.
Yeah. From disenfranchising the Sunni majority to unleashing chemical weapons on Homs.
I think if we were doing that, we would call him Dr. Evil. Because he is a doctor,
He was a doctor.
Yeah.
He was a doctor in London.
Ealing, West London. Not that far from where we are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. His wife's English, isn't she?
Yeah.
Weird. A weird man. No chin. It's not his worst trait.
Yeah.
Maybe the lack of chin is a coded message to Russia.
Yeah. He's got nice eyes, I noticed from looking into this.
Okay, bit of a fan, are we?
Yeah, no. I mean, obviously, bad man.
That Barcelona thing, is it tongue in cheek? I don't think it is. Obviously, they can't genuinely think that Barcelona are. That Messi's thought when he gets the ball is like, okay, we just indicate to the Al Nusra front where the arms are moving.
Yeah. I mean, if it is true, then it's got to be one of the most sophisticated communication methods.
It's David Icke level where you think
conspiracy. Yeah,
you think like the whole world is operating in a completely different way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite sort of like Stalin's purges, where he just lost the plot a little bit and thought everyone was against him.
Someone needs to get Ike into this sort of stuff. It's more fun.
Yeah.
Sort of like a match of the day meets a David Icke lecture is what I'm looking for. Sorry, I've got Ike on the brain because we have got an episode about him coming out soon.
Yeah.
It's a crack.
It was a good one.
Now, Zach, our old friend Derek Chisora was in the ring on the weekend against Otto Wallin. I'm sure you watched it.
I did, of course.
I actually thought he'd retired, Derek Chisora.
Yeah, same.
He's 41, and last time we spoke about him, he was beating up a Deliveroo driver who'd had the audacity to cycle on the pavement outside a Hampstead cafe.
Yeah. That was sort of an exclusive, wasn't it?
It was an Upshot exclusive.
Sent it in.
Yeah.
And we posted it, and all of the comments underneath were very unsympathetic towards the delivery driver. It was everyone was like, well, it is actually really annoying. They do cycle the pavement a lot in that area.
If you are trying to just nibble on a pastry outside, bon maman, it is frustrating. Turns out Derek is fighting more than just blokes on bicycles. So Otto Wallin, pretty serious fighter, and Derek absolutely battered him from pillar to post. He said afterwards that this is his penultimate fight. So he is retiring soon, which, makes you wonder, like, what's he going to do next? He's got quite into right-wing politics. Is he going to stand for reform in the Thurrock South by-election? Or like, I could maybe see him peddling a crypto scheme when the time comes. Just feels right. But actually, he was asked this question about how's he planning to replace the boxing buzz when he's no longer in the ring? And he replied, I do MDMA. If there's a rave happening, I'm going. If there's a rave in my camp, I put it in my diary and I say, please don't call me or find me because you know where I am. They say, you can't go. And I say, guess what? I'm going.
Can you imagine running into Derek Chisora at a rave?
He also, he has a habit of wearing a Reform UK cowboy hat, which he's a pretty, conspicuous guy at a rave. He's really tall. He's a famous boxer. Yeah. And then he's got the Reform UK cowboy hat on.
Yeah, that's a different vibe. I'm just imagining all these, pilled up 18-year-olds with ice axe also. Is that Derek Chisora in a Reform UK cowboy hat?
He sometimes does a MAGA hat as well, doesn't he?
Does he?
Yeah, maybe he rocks that at the rave. He sort of makes it sound like he's a 16-year-old in 1985 who's been told by his mum he can't go out. Well, I'm going. And also he says it's during camp, so that must mean during a training camp.
Sneaking out, yeah. Do you think he's discovered raving late?
Yes.
And he's now very excited about it.
Yeah, I think so. Again, it's like a 16-year-old who's discovered it all and is just desperate to talk about it. It's quite nice though. Bit of honesty. Weirdly, boxing, you can just be honest about shit like that, can't you?
But surely that would come up in a drugs test. Would you get banned for that? It's not exactly a performance enhancer.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows our views on this, or my views as well. Never bothered to ask you. But you shouldn't get banned for recreational drugs, I don't think, because it's a disadvantage. I mean, MDMA, probably the worst preparation for a boxing match. 2 days later, you're not landing much.
It's really sad.
Yeah, even against a Deliveroo driver. Anyway, he does actually, so that was his penultimate fight. He actually qualifies for a shot at the world title now.
Okay.
I think it's one of the lesser world titles. You know how there's a few?
Yeah.
Because the world title is...
Usyk.
Usyk.
But that's different.
They're both heavyweights.
They're both heavyweights.
So I guess this is the Shit Munchers world title. Don't know.
One of the belts.
Yeah, because
is it the belt at Wayne Lineker's Beach Club? It's the only belt you can win while you're on E.
Yeah, it's the upshot belt. Because he will fight the winner of Joseph Parker or Daniel Dubois. So that fight is on the 22nd of February. Stick it in your diary. Yeah. 2 upshot favourites. Dubois we've talked about before. So his dad had this absolutely mental training regime for him. He had to do 3 to 5 hours of press-ups every day before he could have any food or water. Sounds quite unpleasant. And his dad also persuaded him to never use mobile phones or the internet because it's bad for you.
Is that in case he gets the text with the location of a illegal rave?
Yeah. I actually think it sounds like he's too disciplined. It's going to be a hard sell getting him to do a post-fight bump in the dressing room with Chisora. But maybe Joseph Parker, if he wins, would dabble because Parker has got some pretty serious allegations about him. So Parker, he's from New Zealand, and back in 2019, the police out there named him in a drug trafficking trial. They claimed that he had bought crystal meth and laundered cash for the 3 defendants who were found guilty. So police, they found text messages sent to a convicted dealer from an account called Joseph Parker Boxer, which said, trust me, it's the best stuff out. And there was another one from another person in the ring who said, the heavyweight boxer Joseph Parker is the guy fronting the money for this, which is, I think you guys need to work on your code. Yeah.
Maybe put you in touch with Sergio Busquets.
Yeah, there's 2 ends of the spectrum here. Anyway, to be fair, I should say Parker was never charged of any crime and has always maintained his innocence. He was just named in this trial.
Okay.
But I think...
So somebody else created an account called Joseph Parker Boxing.
Yeah, maybe it is a code.
Yeah. Maybe he's sending codes through his southpaw technique.
Maybe Derek Chisora's sending code, telling you where the rave is. Anyway, I think I'm rooting for Daniel Dubois, and then I'm rooting for Chizzy.
You think Chizzy will be?
Chizzy's a good name for him. Actually, in our newsletter, George, who wrote it, gave it the story, the headline, "All sorted for Ease and Chiz," which is Spectacular.
that was good.
You know your Britpop. I'm rooting for Chizzy to get one more world title and then just,
And then it just hit the rave.
Yeah, get stuck in. Actually, speaking of meth, which we just were, I am pleased to report it has made a long overdue return to the tennis tour. So we've talked recently, maybe last week, about how fucking miserable life on the tennis tour is. You're just like in your hotel room playing Counter-Strike, or like Emma Raducanu was like, I just read Jane Austen novels on solo dates in cafes. It sounds boring. So hats off to Gonzalo Oliveira, the world number 245, who has just tested positive for crystal meth.
Okay, so there are sort of two ways you can go when you're holed up in a hotel room.
Yeah, you can read Sense and Sensibility.
10 months.
Or you could cook. I should say he's maintaining his innocence. He did the statement being like, I'm going to clear my name. This is a misunderstanding, which I think that's quite a tough sell to say, like, the physio put the wrong cream on you when it's crystal meth.
Was that not Andre Agassi's thing, though?
No, Andre Agassi said he had this assistant called Slim. The most methy name you can have. Straight out of Breaking Bad. And he tested positive for meth, and he wrote to the ATP and said, my assistant likes to spike his own Sprite with meth, for a treat. And I accidentally drank his Sprite, and that's why. And they not only did they accept the excuse and not ban him, but they didn't even make it public that he failed the test. Whereas I guess Gonzalo's not quite got the clout. Hopefully he's got a similar excuse lined up.
That is impressive that they just completely bought that and covered for him as well. I guess Agassi at that point was one of their biggest names.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a fix. Agassi also, do you remember he in his book, he's like, and then I took the meth, and you're like, oh my God, what rampage is he going to go on? And he just said, I spent 2 days cleaning the house and doing laundry without sleep. So,
yeah.
Actually could have read some Jane Austen.
You can see why you fit in on the tennis tour.
Yeah, that's about as exciting as it gets. Anyway, we're not the only ones to point out that meth is probably not helping. So Nick Kyrgios piled in on this story. He posted the Breaking Bad music, and then he said, steroids are fine, but this is wild. Tennis world's gone mad. So the steroids thing is obviously he's got this long-running campaign about the fact that Yannick Sinner, the world number one, tested positive for steroids and has basically got away with it by blaming a cream his physio gave him, which I'm sort of with Nick on that.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. It seems weird that Kyrgios is so adamant that Sinner did dope deliberately.
Yeah, I mean, he just likes attention, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think this Gonzalo guy is probably looking at a proper ban, isn't he?
He's fully denying it. So
who's the old he's still playing, the English guy. He's like British number 2. And he basically got done for coke, and he said, I had it in my wash bag, and it obviously leaked in there and like got into my other meds. Why did you have it in your wash bag? You might as well just say I was doing coke. I got one more drug story for you. Michael Jordan's son, he got stopped by traffic police in Florida this week. So apparently he'd spent the night at some strip clubs with a girlfriend, I think. And he was driving home in his Lamborghini SUV in the middle of the night. Bright blue car, it's pretty conspicuous. And police tried to pull him over for a traffic stop, and he did not stop. He sped off, and he ended up crashing his car off the road. He was fine, but when police caught up with him and his girlfriend, they were standing outside the car, and the car was stuck on some railway tracks, which were on the edge of a cliff. And apparently it was like teetering over a steep drop. It's like something out of the Italian Job or like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Anyway, they got there and he was like, yo, you got to help get my car off the track. And they're like, Apparently he stank of booze and had like bloodshot eyes. But it was quite urgent because there was a train coming in 10 minutes.
Oh, wow. So did they manage to get it off?
I think they managed to stop the train. Yeah. But in the meantime, they obviously got him to point to his nose and recite the alphabet backwards and walk down the road. And they decided he was drunk, so they searched him and they found a small bag containing a white powdery substance, which
what was
later turned out to be cocaine. They tested it. So they've got him on drugs, they got him on failing to stop, and he's drunk. But Marcus Jordan, he's connected. And, as Michael Jordan's son, he's sort of used to reaping the benefits of his famous name. And so when the cops like asked him like, what the hell are you doing? He replied, I'm Michael Jordan's son. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah. I mean, he sounds like he's pulled that one before and got away with it.
Yeah.
I guess you probably would.
Really?
Not to the police, but like in other situations.
To get into a nightclub.
If you get into a nightclub, or you're going to get kicked out of a nightclub, and you're just like, look, I'm Michael Jordan's son. I've got unlimited cash.
Yeah, I'll sort you out.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place to drop that
I'll get you
line.
a signed photo with my dad.
Yeah,
which is a lame thing to be dining out on.
Yeah, it makes you a wanker every time you do it, but like there's a time and a place where it works. But when you're off your tits on coke and like wild turkey at the wheel of a Lamborghini,
your Lamborghini's hanging off a cliff.
That ain't it.
Don't cash in your Nepo baby chips.
Yeah, but it was all caught on their like body cam footage, and then in the police car when they took him home, the police report said later that he was loud, profane, and belligerent. So he's basically giving them abuse. And there's this bit where bit when he goes, "Yo, can we get some holiday music on? Play some Mariah Carey up in this bitch." This is when he's in the back of the police car. And I mean, quite a weird thing to ask. He obviously means, can we have All I Want for Christmas Is You? But also, this happened last week. Mate, you do know it's February the 4th.
Yeah.
Who's asking for Christmas music?
That's not going to help convince them that you're sober, is it?
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is he's not fully in control of his faculties.
Does she have any Easter songs? I guess we're sort of
he's
coming up
definitely
to
holiday music.
He's getting in the Easter spirit.
Unless he means like Pancake Day or Valentine's. Does Mariah Carey have
maybe
Valentine's?
she might have some Valentine's tracks actually.
What, the Busta Rhymes one?
Baby,
if you give it to me, I give it to you. I know what you want. I think he meant that. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. As no one else has done in this story, I am going to give him the benefit of the doubt. To be fair, like his sort of famous name has opened some doors for him in the past. So do you remember last year? So Larsa Pippen, who is the ex-wife of Scottie Pippen. So Scottie Pippen was like, he was kind of Michael Jordan's sidekick on the Chicago Bulls, which like, you know, they were kind of best pals and closest teammates and obviously super successful. But that ultimately bred resentment for Scottie Pippen, who didn't like being the sidekick. He also was tied to a really bad contract, didn't make much money. And then when that documentary came out during COVID, The Last Dance, which was a really good doc, Scottie was really portrayed as the sidekick and apparently was quite resentful. This thing has built that actually he hates Michael Jordan. Anyway, he broke up with his wife, and then his wife, Larsa, who does she take up with next? Marcus Jordan, which is, you know, I guess one way of
let me guess what his chat up line was.
Yeah. I guess so it has opened some doors for him.
Yeah.
It worked there.
Yeah. That it didn't last, did it?
No, he was kind of, so she's like a sort of slightly depressing reality TV. Like what's the Real Housewives? I think she's one of them. So it kind of got him on some reality TV, which I think was his angle.
Yeah. Is he sort of Brooklyn Beckham-esque?
Yeah, and it actually makes you think Brooklyn, quite proud of Brooklyn.
Yeah,
he's done all right.
Brooklyn does actually try and, you know, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Yeah, but
he's like, he does try and you know, branch out on his own.
He's got a hot sauce.
He's got his hot sauce. He's got his photography book.
He's making his masks down the centre.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if Brooklyn Beckham does name drop.
No.
Actually, I reckon Brooklyn Beckham's more like, Gordon Ramsay, my godfather. But he doesn't mean it in a name droppy way. He just lives in that world.
Yeah.
I think, Brooklyn Beckham looks good in like Marcus Jordan. But anyway, on this reality TV foray, Marcus Jordan did tell one quite funny story about his dad. So you know how Michael Jordan is famously stingy? He's like really, really
Isn't
tight.
Scottie Pippen as well?
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen's no tipping Pippen.
No tipping Pippen. So yeah, they're both really stingy. But apparently Michael Jordan, they were all on holiday, and he took his daughter on a jet ski, like when his daughter was younger. And on the jet ski, he also had this wad of cash on him, $40,000 tied up with a rubber band.
Why are you bringing that on a jet ski?
Yeah, I don't
you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So lo and behold, he capsized the jet ski and they both fell off. But apparently it was like the daughter had gone in one direction and the cash had gone in the other, and he just went straight to the cash. He just sank. But also, while reading that, I learned that Michael Jordan can't swim. He just wears a life jacket and uses one of those like motorized sea scooter things.
Okay.
It's quite surprising. Someone that
Yeah.
can't swim.
But can his daughter swim? Did he know that she would be
can
able to say
now.
Because that Cash definitely can't swim. But like, he's not. Does he want to sink with the Cash? Surely, say get the daughter first, get her to swim over, get the Cash.
The difference is, I do think if you get the Cash, you've got time to get the daughter. Whereas
True.
it's like Crystal Maze.
Yeah.
But if you go for the daughter first, the Cash is gone.
But if this is paper Cash, presumably.
Yeah.
Surely it's going to get ruined anyway if it's in a, or is it in a
I think if
waterproof-
Cash gets
is it in a
wet, it's
waterproof
alright.
bag?
One of those, like,
like the ones you have if you go canoeing. Or
Yeah,
something.
he looked after that, unlike his daughter. Yeah.
What was he planning to do with 40 grand cash on a jet ski anyway?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it like I'll tell you what, it's not a tip for the guys who rented the jet ski. Maybe gamble. That's his main vibe. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Loves him
Maybe.
some gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll keep you posted on Marcus because I think there might be a few more adventures.
He
with
does
him.
seem like quite a good character, yeah.
It's a weird life. It's
is.
hard to like do well. He had a bit of a go at playing basketball, but he never got. I don't think he ever got to like. Definitely not
Bronny
NBA.
James's level.
Yeah, so Bronny is LeBron's son.
Yeah.
Which calling him Bronny like that, I think is a mistake. But anyway, he has got a contract with the Lakers, right?
He does, yeah. I think he's now been bumped down to their B team.
Yeah, whatever they call it, the feeder
Yeah.
team. But there was a thing. There's like an NBA preseason camp for the guys who are like on the fringes, and he went to it, and everyone was like, "God, he's really not good enough for the NBA. He's just here because of nepotism." But he did win the Call of Duty tournament, and there was like a picture of him posing with the trophies. So good.
That is the only trophy you'll be winning this season.
Now, Zach, it is Valentine's Day on Friday. Is it not?
It is indeed, yeah.
You got any hot dates lined up?
You know that I'm spending Valentine's Day with you talking about adulterous basketball players. So,
Yeah, that's a hot date.
it's a hot date in a way, yeah.
JP, he's doing a meet and greet at Heaven. I asked him, that's what he told me.
Him and Juan Bernabe.
Yeah, Juan Bernabe. I mean, I think going out for dinner on Valentine's Day is one of the great eras.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. But, you know, have you got your pubes in order for it?
God.
See where I'm
have I
taking
ever?
this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's time for another Manscaped ad, another seamless Manscaped ad. So this is what they're saying. All right, fellas, it's time to talk about your personal grooming. Grooming isn't just about looking good, it's about feeling good. Whether you're suiting up for a big meeting, gearing up for a date, or tackling the day, the right tools make all the difference. Meeting?
Meeting? Is that like...
Who's trimming their pubes for a meeting? Juan Bernabe?
This is even worse than Christmas.
Juan Bernabe, maybe?
Yeah,
His meetings.
yeah.
It's a meet and greet. He did look quite trimmed, but then I wondered if that was just like, we talked about this before, it's like when vets shave a patch on your dog. Yeah, so I don't know if he actually is generally. It is in Italy, is that the culture?
To trim your pubes.
They're quite hairy people.
Yeah, but I can see them being quite well groomed downstairs.
Yeah, Yaz is nodding, which is frankly a bit too enthusiastically, knowingly. But yeah,
Just imagine.
I think it's generational.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the unkempt pubic bushes in a gym, or like if you're in? We've talked before about like German tourists in Mallorca.
Yeah,
if you go to a holiday destination like Tenerife, where everyone's a little bit older,
They're not manscaping.
they're not manscaping. But if you go to Ibiza,
Yeah.
particularly at the more Wayne Lineker end of Ibiza,
Yeah, that's definitely... That's not a pube in sight.
I've got absolutely no idea what I'm talking about now, but I think that's true.
That's sort of all chest hair waxed
What
off
I'm wondering
as
is,
well.
are there regional variations? Could you draw a line through Europe? Because I think colder climes you would expect.
More pubes.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
good sense.
Yeah.
So Italy, well groomed.
Yeah.
Britain, hairy bushes because you need them for
Yeah.
drizzle.
Less exposure.
What about once
Yeah.
you get up into the sort of Scandi
Weirdly,
countries?
Scandinavia then has its own microclimate.
What a
Well, they are
shaving
quite
culture
hairy,
there.
aren't they? Because they're Vikings, and I think of
Yeah.
like sort of like a hairy bear-like man in the snow. But then I also think of like a svelte Swedish,
It's the culture. It's culture.
like a
wars,
Wim
isn't
Hof.
it?
Is Wim Hof hairy on the old?
I don't know. Oh, he's got a beard.
What's his dick like?
We'll have to ask and Andre Schurrle.
Yeah.
Andre Schurrle spends a lot of time with him.
Well, because Andre Schurrle is now like he hikes in.
Yeah, there was a video this week of him hiking up a mountain in his boxers.
It's
a sort of like Wim Hof thing. It's like a kind of not ultra marathon, but ultra endurance. Like
you're in like flip flops and boxers and nothing.
I think they wear proper
snow.
like hiking shoes, which just for safety purposes.
Grow your pubes out for that. At least allow yourself that.
Your hairy toes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting off topic.
Well, if you are doing that and you want to trim your pubes or face, meet the Beard and Balls bundle from Manscaped, your all-in-one grooming solution to keep you polished from head to toe, or more precisely from beard to balls. Actually quite useful up a mountain if you need to pack light, or if you're touring uni club nights with an eagle.
So you only need to bring
one bundle, all-in-one solution. If you've got to do like Hull uni one night and then get on like a train to Southampton,
Exeter,
or to Exeter, and like do all the uni club nights, and you've got your eagle. And there's probably some maintenance kit for your penis pump. I don't know.
Yeah, true. So you don't want to be bringing like a separate face. But are these, so the Beard and Balls bundle, is it one thing for face and balls?
One device. No, I think it's a little bag that has
two separate devices. Yeah,
truthfully.
That's good. I
don't want to false advertise.
Yeah.
What, like a spork? You got one end.
The day Manscaped released one of them, I'm in.
It was also like they do that nose trimmer as well, which doubles up as a sort of asshole.
I don't think it does double as an
That's
asshole.
what I used it for both.
I think it's nose and ears, and you doubled it up. Did it work?
Yes.
Because also, the difference with nose hair and arsehole hair is that nose hair grows from within, but arsehole hair doesn't come from within, does it?
Not anymore, it doesn't. No, just to clarify, I did not use it as I did not use it on both.
That's fine. Fine if you did, just make sure you get the order right.
Yeah.
Join over 12 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and use code UPSHOT for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Upshot for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. I think if you're looking down now and you're thinking, bit 1980s down there, a bit sort of bit Wim Hof, then yeah, do invest.
Yeah, if you're more Viking than Scandinois.
Yeah, exactly. If you're more Viking than IKEA,
yeah,
then invest, please. Yeah. Would you? Japandi. You know, Japan is like Japanese and Scandi, like architecture fusion. Two quite hairless vibes. If you're looking for that, then I would go Manscaped.
Point you in the direction of the beers and balls bundle.
Beard and balls.
Beard and balls.
Yeah, I think we nailed that one. Right, let's move on.
Speaking of somebody who definitely doesn't Manscaped, now that he's 18, we can talk about him in these terms. Is this? Nah, we can do that. Yeah. Go on. So Luke Littler.
Yeah.
He's made a bit of a habit recently of pissing off his fellow PDC stars. We talked a little while ago about how he'd basically done that interview where he was waxing lyrical about how Raymond van Barneveld was his hero growing up, but then blanked all of Barney's texts, and Barney got quite pissed off about it. Said, "If I'd been your inspiration for years, I expect a text back. Dude's on his phone all day. Fuck off."
He's taken that badly.
He has taken it badly, and you know, fair enough, it's a bit annoying.
Yeah.
Phil Taylor's taken the more sort of softly approach. You know, he's been critiquing Luke Littler's Xbox addiction, but you know, he's taking a helpful approach, offering to move in, help him curb it that way. But Luke was back in trouble with his colleagues again last week. So they were all in Belfast for a tournament there, and there'd been this photo shoot arranged outside the Titanic Museum on the docks. So, you know, everyone was there. It was like Luke Humphreys, Michael Van Gerwen Price, all there out on the docks in the biting Belfast wind, and Luke was nowhere to be seen. And, you know, 15 minutes passed, he's still not there, half an hour. 45 minutes late, he ended up rocking up. And obviously they were all quite pissed off about it. Apparently he explained that he just fell asleep in his hotel room.
Oh, what, is the middle of the day?
No, I think it was morning, but, you know, I think it might have been a snooze your alarm and that kind of thing. Which, you know, to be fair, getting an 18-year-old out of bed to go to a maritime museum with a bunch of tubby middle-aged men wasn't the easiest sell.
Yeah.
But you know, they eventually got him there, and they managed to get this lovely picture of them all.
Oh yeah, nice.
Where
Link to that.
they do all look quite pissed off.
It looks like a stag do. They're in their darts tops.
Stag do for someone's second wedding.
Yeah.
balding middle-aged men.
Yeah, Littler looks like the son of the woman he's marrying.
Yeah, who hates the new husband.
Yeah, that's why he was late.
Luke Humphries is the boring brother.
Definitely.
You had to invite him, but
Definitely.
he's a real suck on the energy.
And Gerwyn Price on the left, I would say, looks like the sort of like very aggy mate who
Yeah.
like goes a bit far, gets in a fight.
Yeah, you don't want to get stuck on a table with him.
No, he's mental.
He's the one who you get stuck on a table with him, and he's very intensely telling you about his sex life when he was 18, and you're just like...
It's like him
please.
talking about like sleeping with prostitutes in Thailand vibe.
Yeah,
And you're like, oh, this guy's making...
You're just like trying to make eye contact with other people, just like somebody rescue
he's
me.
too much.
Yeah.
I
He's
tell you-
also in that photo, he's got a bit of a, you know that photo of Ashley Cole at Roma where he's like, the team photo where Ashley Cole's right at the edge.
Yeah, who Gerwyn Price.
Yeah.
Do people kind of hate him?
Maybe
not.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Stephen Bunting there, I would say, looks like the one you want to spend time with.
Yeah,
he's probably the brother of the groom, maybe.
Yeah, or just like
Just a good, or the best mate.
maybe. Yeah, I think he's the best mate.
He's kinda
he's got
cuddly.
a nice, good smile. He's got some funny stories, and he knows how to tell them.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. Yeah, whereas Gerwyn Price does look like he
looks like it.
got bodies in the basement.
Yeah.
So were they all quite angry with Littler for being late?
Yeah, so Van Gogh branded him lazy and said they need to stop treating him like a baby. Which, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cold in Belfast if you're just there in your darts shirt
Yeah, they are.
for 45 minutes. You'd be quite fucked up.
If they weren't wearing their darts shirts, they do just look like a group of like ship enthusiasts or
a stag do.
Yeah, or a stag do.
A very
but-
shit stag do.
Yeah. It is, the Titanic Museum is the sort of place that that group of men would go on a stag do.
That's interesting you said we need to stop treating him like a baby, because to me that feels like the first signs of resentment creeping in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It feels a bit broader than just like, it was annoying he was late.
Yeah, but do you think like as they were waiting for him to rock up, the photographers are probably just like, oh, you know, he's 18, what are teenagers like? And Van Gogh's like, no, he's a professional now.
But it's basically the first time dancers had this problem of like a guy who's way younger. They've pretty much always been in their like 30s.
Yeah.
And suddenly you've got like a teenager.
Yeah.
It's the Manscaped v non-Manscaped divide.
The culture wars are beginning.
Although, geez, I have to say, I'm not sure Luke Littler manscapes, but he's of an age where he should really.
Yeah, the endorsements are rolling in.
Gerwyn Price manscapes.
Gerwyn Price Manscaped. Gerwyn Price.
He maybe waxes, actually.
Yeah, Gerwyn Price definitely does.
Gets a back sack and crack.
I can see Michael Van Gogh
Just because he's bald. Because he's bald.
Yes. Yeah, don't.
Apart from that, no. I think Luke Humphries got absolute grizzled down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, good to see a bit of tension creeping in.
Yeah.
I mean,
They must spend a lot of time together with those guys.
And it is a weird dynamic. He's just constantly in hotels with a bunch of 40-year-old blokes.
Yeah.
And he just wants to be gaming. Are you on tour like all the time?
I think so, because they do like the Premier League darts, they move around all over the place, don't they?
So is it more fun than the tennis tour? Still think it is.
Yeah.
It's less sad.
Yeah, and I kind of get the feeling that they're a bit more like
Down to
cheerful and down to earth, whereas the tennis tour is like a lot of very intense, quite pampered.
People who never really grew up because they were just hot-housed in Miami from the age of like 11. Whereas, you know, Luke Littler has had a fairly normal childhood.
Yeah, and they definitely go out for a few pints after.
I'm choosing that one. Football documentaries. I think they are generally, in the streaming era, pretty shit. They're just like, they're basically promo for the player or the club. You know, like the Beckham one, the Anelka one, the Man City doc. Like, for me, they're all a bit airbrushed, trying to present an image. But there is one big exception, Sunderland Till I Die, which for me is still the best football doc of the streaming era. And if you saw it, you will know that the breakout accidental star of season 2 was Charlie Methven, the incoming CEO. He was sort of like he was a David Brent figure who he arrives and, the club's like in turmoil. They've just been relegated to League One. The financial situation is dire. And Methven hauls all his direct reports into his office for an important meeting. And you're like, okay, what's this going to be? Transfer policy? Do we need to look at the training ground? Actually, he wants to discuss the pre-match music, which he says isn't loud enough. He says, I want it to be, quote, like a massive rave, a bit like Ibiza. Which is great.
Yeah. I like that that's his number one priority.
Yeah.
That is, we just come in, sort this club out.
Yeah. If you haven't watched it, I really recommend. He's just sitting in the office, they're playing the music, and he's like, yeah, that's more like it. We turn it up. He's asked about his personal philosophy, and he replies, fearlessly going for it in life, in business and sport begets precisely the positivity and desire required to be a winner. You following?
Yeah.
It is pretty Brent. I think, being the sort of smoothie that he is, it was always going to be a bit of a tough gig for him to win over people in Sunderland. So as Private Eye wrote about him last year, given that he is a brill-creamed, perma-tanned, Thatcher-worshipping old Etonian hooray, Weirsiders were not expected to make Charlie their darling, which I think sums it up pretty well.
Great description.
Yeah, but even by those standards, I would say he fucked it up. So there's a bit where he meets with the local fans and ends up telling them that they lack the understanding of business that people in the south have because there are less entrepreneurs up north. It's really good.
Yeah, that'll get him on side.
Yeah, that should do it. Anyway, he did end up leaving. I think him and, do you remember it's him and another co-owner is a guy, Stuart Donald, who's recently left his wife for a stripper when the doc begins. So there's that dynamic going on as well. Anyway, but Charlie, it doesn't work out for him. He leaves and he is now safely back down south and he's in the hot seat at Charlton Athletic. And I'm pleased to report...
Is he owner there or chairman? Or?
No, I think he's CEO.
Okay.
I think he gets a small amount of shares, but he's sort of seen as the guy to run the show because, he's clearly a great communicator.
Yeah.
Sort of a friend first, probably an entertainer second. And anyway, I'm pleased to report it's very much business as usual for Charlie. So a club insider has leaked us an internal email which Methven sent to all staff at Charlton. So he sort of begins by celebrating recent success on the pitch, and then he finishes the letter with this. He says, let's keep challenging each other and keep pushing ourselves. At the start of the season, I took the men's first team to see MJ the musical, so Michael Jackson musical. The lyrics that have really stayed with me ever since are from The Man in the Mirror, a song about accountability and honesty. And then he quotes, I'm starting with The Man in the Mirror. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. And then he says, when we get together for our next all-in meeting, let's make sure we've all each individually done everything possible to change this club for the better. It's a big ask, but if we all do look at the man or woman in the mirror every day, then we can achieve some great things together. Yours, Charlie Methven, CEO. It's fantastic.
Inspiring stuff.
Yeah. Does that work? Should I be incorporating more of that into my management style?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other Michael Jackson songs that might work.
It's an interesting choice.
It's
very David Brent to use lyrics.
Also,
people say it's just a massive nonce.
it's
Earth Song would have been quite funny. If you said, as Michael Jackson said, what about sunrise? What about rain?
I guess it's
it kind of works.
It's kind of a nice.
Anyway, our inside source has promised me more, so
okay.
I'm licking my lips.
So does that mean are these
apparently there's more stuff, but I don't know what it is. He's kept me on tenterhooks. But he emailed this morning saying that, and I have replied. But at the time of recording, I don't have them all. But watch this space.
He or she, as it.
Yeah, sorry, man or woman, who's hopefully having a long hard look in the mirror. One other thing I really like from Sunderland Till I Die is when they do have a meeting about transfer targets. They can't afford to buy anyone, it's just loans. And they go through these 12 players and the manager's in the meeting and then he just goes, why am I seeing Zlatan Ibrahimovic's name on this list? They're like, yeah, long shot. Didn't happen in the end. They went
don't
for,
ask, don't get.
Yeah, they went for Ashley Fletcher in the end instead. Which, anyway, do watch.
You know,
that
if Charlie Methven is really looking to up the pre-match entertainment at Charlton, Juan Bernabe.
Oh, who else? Surely some
Sort of
team
like
is gonna get him.
Ibiza.
You know, like Ibiza.
Yeah, sort of heavily waxed men. With big birds.
Yeah, with big birds and big cocks. Horny men. Yeah, stay tuned for Dulwich Hamlet's latest entertainment. I feel like that Serie D club has done a good bit of business there.
Yeah.
If Dulwich Hamlet told you next week Juan Bernabe is coming, you'd be there.
I'd get
I'd
him
be
a
there.
ticket, yeah.
We'd probably get him on the pod.
Yeah. Shall we?
Yeah, we'll be in touch, Juan, if you're listening. All right, on that note, I think that's all we got time for.
Yep.
If you haven't listened to our Andy van der Meijden episode that came out on Tuesday, it is a cracker. All killer. Do listen to that. I really recommend it. Actually, a lot of people messaged in saying, I'd never heard of him, but this episode is incredible, the stories.
Yeah, the stories are mad.
Yeah, it's doing well.
It's an all-timer.
Yeah. So do listen to that. We will see you again on Tuesday when we've got Danny Cipriani, who also, that again, there are just some amazing stories in that. He's obviously like a noughties tabloid fascination. There's some quite funny celebrity cameos, including friend of the pod, Katie Price.
Yep, Katie Price, Cheeky Girls.
Yeah, there's some really good noughties nostalgia and just some funny stories and quite lurid discussion of his sex life, which is mental. He said threesomes were the norm, which I can't get my head around. Comes across as a bit of a wanker, I would say. Anyway, it's a good app. So get your teeth into those two. We'll see you on Tuesday. Please do share this episode with anyone you think would like it. And thanks for listening.
Thank you.
That was great.